And welcome everyone to Nerd TV for another full throttle sim racing Martin Sports Truck Series race here at the simulated Kansas Speedway, where these guys in the Martin Sports Truck Series will be taking 134 laps around this place, going underneath the lights. Gonna start the race in sunset, and the temps will cool down, the sun will go down behind the horizon, and it'll be nighttime for the rest of the way. 73 degrees on the track surface, 71 in the skies, so pretty cool night, in reality compared to, normal times in the summertime, so we'll take that where we can. 65% humidity, clouds in the skies, but that doesn't matter because we're going to the nighttime, and 8-mile-an-hour wind gust might play a factor, might not. I'm not too sure. The trucks look pretty stable out there, so I think we're going to be safe on any weather situations. My name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty, and to my right-hand side, double dutying tonight, Mr. Jason Rockefeller. How are you doing this evening?
Tired, man. It's gonna be a long night. Not gonna get done till probably like 1:30 in the morning. But hey, first up, Kansas. Got to talk about this racetrack. Undoubted. There he is. Walter's back, everybody. Round of applause for Walter. But all jokes aside, man, we had one of the best shows here just a few months ago for the Mach 1 Performance Cup Series. By far, my favorite race I've called on Nerd TV, Jeremy, from the action, the drama, the racing, everything about Kansas. Ever since this track just continuously gets updated and aged every single year, it gets better and better and better since it opened back in 2001. This track has become probably one of the favorites on the NASCAR schedule now, especially with the Gen 7 car, which is one of the very few tracks, that this car really was good on. But tonight is the Truck Series. These guys always put on a show here, no matter who's driving them. I'm looking forward to tonight for sure. Multi-groove racing. Can Fury Motorsports maybe pull off another 1.5 mile win? They've been so strong here, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, it was an excellent race earlier for sure, and I love the multi-groove, and they've had a little extra grip at the bottom, so it's not just a highline fest. This track produces amazing racing from flag to flag, and welcome back to the camera scene. I'm really looking forward to it. I love how they do the back-to-back weeks. We're going to start with the sunset, or at least compared to Monday, and then jumping in here in the Wednesday. We're going to the nighttime here, and kind of seeing who can mix it up in the points. I know JP Burns will be here the next 2 weeks. On Monday, we called that Kyle Milliken wasn't going to. That was a complete flub there. But yeah, JP Burns won't be here, so he's got to really hope that the guys in the back kind of maintain in the back, and Cody McKinney locked in from last week's win. And quick notion that Tyler Brown on the 00. He'll be going to the end of the longest line to start this race for some contact that was made last week.
I believe I'm back. Sorry, I didn't mean to step all over you.
He's back. He's back.
Discord did not want me to talk, apparently. So, yeah, but no, I'm back. Oh, nope.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Oh my gosh, Discord can just stop.
It's
They can just stop.
Let's try this for a third time. Dustin, how you doing
third
tonight?
time's a charm. I'm doing good. I had to come back on here. When Jeremy calls you out for not being on and not feeling good, you had me going there, Jason. You had me going when you were oh, come on.
All right, we're going to close that one out real quick here.
I quit. I quit.
He's got no say. He's going home.
He's going home for the night.
Deuces, I'm out.
Yeah. They don't want him to talk. Maybe we'll get him on the post race, but we got 45 seconds left before our cameras are off anyways. But Dustin, good luck to you. Hopefully the cameras work for you. Not as,
This is why I'm never on the camera. This is why.
This is exactly why. Fastest in practice right now, the 19 Richie Coy. Him and Cody McKinney have been duking it out all season long here, and these two, the 19, 28, these two are going to be the ones to beat, and right now they're first and third. Brody Hanna, really fast as well, only just several thousandths of a second behind the 19 Richie Coy in practice. Look at the times, Jason, in practice. Minus Richie's 0.4. Second through about 12th or so, all within 1/10 of each other. That's going to be awesome stuff here during the green flag racing.
For sure, Jeremy. But also, you got to think to yourself that some of these guys probably had laps due to draft more than likely. I know that Kansas can sometimes be a little bit of a drafting track. But with that being said, I mean, clean air is going to be really key here tonight. The multi-groove racing definitely is a big factor. But if you're that driver who's going to be in first on restarts, having clean air is key. And the only thing that's really stopping you from pulling away is that draft weight. So definitely going to be a factor here tonight. Remember, these trucks, less horsepower than these cup cars. We'll have to see how they run here tonight.
As we're going to watch Richie Coy, winner of the practice session. We're going to ride on his roof camera, and he is one of our IROC 93.5 cockpit cameras here. So we're going to see what his truck looks like and what Richie looks like going around this 1.5-mile track for qualifying. And Jason, I know last week in Darlington we saw a lot of faster lap times come from lap number 2. Do you go for it on the first lap here at Kansas?
No, definitely not. If I were Richie Coy, I would do exactly what he's doing right now, coming to the green flag. Probably give away your first lap. Don't come down to the apron right here, which he's not. Perfect. Richie Coy might be listening to me as we speak, and then he's probably just going to run a normal line. You want to try to run that outside to bottom, really the outside, but it depends. Because Kansas heading into turn 1 on the outside is kind of a little bit awkward. The barrier kind of jumps out at you. And then obviously you want to just ride down the back straightaway, and you're going to see him probably enter high right here. There you go. He does it. He's going to get those left sides right on the left seat. Probably could be a little bit higher. And then off the corner here, you want to make sure the truck doesn't step out on you. Head down to the apron. Try to complete and cut the track as much as possible. Take that green flag. So again, his lap currently a throwaway lap. Fast on the racetrack though, 30.9. There goes Sherwood Williford, posted a 30.7. Well, watch this number 19. He's going to try to hook that bottom and the best he can. Make sure he can get the perfect arc going into the corner. You see him a little bit lower entry probably earlier than I think he wanted to be. But this time by, he's going to come off the corner. Don't swing the thing back out to the wall and lose time. Head to the apron. Checkered flag. Richie Coy goes to top of the board. 30.522 for the Haskell, New Jersey native.
I'm pretty impressed by the lap times. You pointed out he did enter turn 3 a little lower, and then turn 4 he did not go past the second groove.
Oh,
really.
yeah.
He hit the bottom half of the track, and I thought that was going to scrub excess speed off, but nope, it's going to put him fastest in practice with that time, and then also of course fastest in qualifying. And Brody handed 2 100ths of a second behind him, and then Stephen Hollingsworth at 25 also follows up with a .562. So once more, these qualifying times remain really close. We're on board now with their other IROC 93.5 driver. It's going to be Ryan Chapman in the 27. And it looks like he's going to get his first lap underway.
Very rough entry there onto the tri-oval for him, right onto the apron. But back to the point, Jeremy, you said that you were a little surprised thinking it was going to scrub off speed. Well, I'll tell you why it doesn't. Because when you head off of turn 4, off of turn 2, like let's say here at Kansas or even Homestead, even Texas Motor Speedway, you don't want to come all the way out to the wall. And the reason being is because you're actually losing a little bit of time, but you're also wearing out that right front more. So you're going to see guys probably, if they're smart, like Richie Coy, don't exit all the way out to the wall unless you have to here tonight, especially heading off of turn number 4, where you're probably going to use that right front up a lot more than you think here. Those right sides are going to be hurt towards the end of these runs right here.
This is why I probably don't qualify well at some of these ovals, because you got the secret stuff I don't. And I just know in near qualifying, you do not run the top lane in 3 and 4 for your fast time, because you're losing so much speed there in the center. You're not going to make it up before you get to the line there. As he crossed the line, his first lap actually was the fastest. Ryan Chapman ran a 30.600, puts him P5 currently on the board. 15 of posted time. We got 7 more that have not, and actually a couple more times do finally come on in here. You see we're on board now with the number 9 to Marshall Johnson coming down pit road or coming off. He's got less than a minute to post a lap time. This is probably going to be a one and done here for him.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, this is going to be interesting to see if he can get it in. There's not going to be enough time, I don't think. He's going to try to get up to speed. But, I mean, by the looks of it right now, put it this way, he's got 30 seconds remaining practically. It's going to take 30 seconds to get around this track. There's no way that Marshall Johnson completes 2 laps. He's going to be lucky if he can even get around the track to complete lap 1. So if I were him, and forget everything I just said, because there goes his lap. I was going to say he wants to try to get back to the line as quickly as possible. But Doesn't look it's going to happen. Sylvain Jolly, though, looks like he's not going to get in a lap. Maybe he did. Let's see right here. He did 31.3. So a really poor lap there for the driver who finished 9th last week at Milwaukee. He's going to be starting deep in the field tonight.
Yeah, that's going to put on P18 there in qualifying, and seeing the checker flag there. So it is over 18 posted times out of 21 trucks on this entry for the Kansas 200. And as these trucks are starting to get put on pit road here, get gridded up, maybe Dustin can provide us some classic footage of, the old way of going down between each row on the pit road if there's enough space between the trucks. But either way, Richie Coy is going to be starting first place here. Brody Hanna will be starting in second. Cody McKinney will be in third. Fourth place, we'll find the 25 of Hollingsworth. Fifth place, Tommy Schaefer. Sixth, Robert Malikian. Seventh, Ryan Chapman. Eighth, Kyle Milliken. Ninth place, Alan Duranko. And 10th place is the 14 of Lane Allen.
Round out the rest of the field, Sherwood Williford, the 33. 11th, Tyler Brown, starting in the 12th spot, but will be dropping to the rear. 13th and 14th goes to Michael Blackner. TJ Bartel, your Daytona winner from just a couple weeks ago. 15th and 16th, you got Justin Diltz, Joey McKinney, and the number 18 machine. 17th and 18th, Tony Solari looking for a rebound after a very, very disappointing night at Milwaukee last week. And Sylvain Jolly in the 08. 19th and 20th, Marshall Johnson, James Torrey, and then 21st, Brandon Elder. We know how fast he is from starting at the back. Maybe tonight could be one of those nights for him as well.
It's almost like half the time he does not qualify and still finds himself up there in the top 5, top 10. And I think tonight we'll have no problem of seeing that 51 do so here, as we're going to reverse back up through the starting order here on pit road. We're going to see this pace car pull off at any moment in time. And then stage break. Just a reminder, it's going to be on lap 40, and then we have 134 total laps here for the Kansas 200 here for round number 2 of 10 for this truck series. So we got tonight, and we got next week at Bristol, and then we get to the round of 12 for the week after, starting with the big boy, Talladega, which, that's a great track. Any type of super speedway in the playoffs loves to shake some things up, and just waiting for him to pull off. And I don't think this update, Jason, provided anything. The iRacing service itself had its massive season update today. It did not provide anything for the trucks specifically, so these guys don't have to tackle any extraness other than they gave every single vehicle some extra grip in the dirt. So if you find himself in the dirt, it might feel a little bit different here this evening.
Yeah, definitely nothing to really point on here from the iRacing Season 4 build that did go live today. A few different things added, a few different things updated. iRacing always giving back to the community, as always, with updates. That's why we love it. That's why we race on it, and that's why we continue to support it. This is going to be interesting to see here, Jeremy, which one of these drivers are going to win tonight. We talk about the we haven't mentioned it, but the playoff picture, man. Race 2 of the round of 16. There's a lot of guys who are looking to have good nights. Tony Solari mentioned him. Joseph McKinney, he's back there in the 15th seed. Sherwood Williford, he's only back by just a handful of points from Lane Allen in 13th. And Bobby Terrell, not here tonight. He was minus 26 points back. He's just going to be in a must-win situation heading into next week.
There we go. Pace car is down, waiting for the green flag to fly for this 19 Richie Coy and 23 Brody Hanna. Fury Motorsports 1-2, and here we are. Green flag is out. This race is underway, and the 23 gets an excellent start alongside his teammate Hollingsworth there on the top 25, poking his nose. Looked like he wanted to go 3 wide, does not get the chance to do so. They go into turns number 1 and 2. Side by side for the top 5 here. Richie Coy seems to get his truck at least in front of the 23, slides up in front, takes the top lane away. And now we got Cody McKinney on the bottom here. Does not get the move, or the speed enough rather, to get to the bottom of Richie Coy. And Richie's going to complete lap 1 here for the Kansas 200.
Top 4 in the playoffs, all wrapped up together, along with Tommy Schaefer, the 8th seed. They complete lap number 1. Richie Coy is going to lead that one over. The points leader of Cody McKinney locked himself in with a win into the round of 12 just last week, won at Milwaukee. And not only did he win, Jeremy, led all 147 laps, flag to flag. He's trying to go back-to-back here tonight. We know how fast that 28 is. We know how fast that 19 is. This is going to be a big, big race for those two to see who's fastest on these mile-and-a-halves.
I want to jump to the chats real quick. Matt Hayden from yesterday's race there in the RSR Next Gen Cup Series saying, let me know when they pit so I can learn how to do that properly, which is quite hilarious if you tuned in yesterday because Matt Hayden spun out back-to-back entrances at Darlington there each lap. It wasn't just two separate incidents. It was like literally the very next lap spun out. So, yeah, we will definitely shout that out when they come down to pit road. But as you see going through 3 and 4, you're just continuing to run side by side here. You see the 88, the 08, the 14, who just now dips to the inside there. So a little more trucks here continuing to drop down to the bottom. But these things will space out all over the place when they're searching for grip. The outside might be a little more congested. Earlier on, the inside seems to feel most comfortable. You don't want to burn the tires up too quickly by going to the top too early unless your truck is set up for that, which we're seeing 25 and 28 do that.
Jolly in the wall.
Yep, 08 in the wall there. Checks up a little bit. He's still going straight, though. He's only lose a couple positions.
He's going to drop all the way back to the 6 of James Torrey with that Worth throwback scheme. Back to the Penske car of Brad Keselowski just a handful of years ago. So unfortunate for Sylvain Jolly so far after a 9th place run at Milwaukee 1 week ago. But Jeremy, you mentioned the top side, you mentioned the bottom, which drivers are comfortable running where. I tell you what, every time I ran this racetrack, anytime in a fixed or I don't even think I've never ran an open race here, but anytime I ran the fixed stuff, I know that these guys have setups that are handled specifically towards their driving style or what their team, style is altogether collectively. But whenever I ran here, I usually tried to go on fresh tires to the top of the racetrack about for 2 to maybe 5 laps at most. And then I started to go down to the bottom because you want to try to conserve that right front tire, obviously, as much as you can, because then once you get strung out in the run, that outside lane will be the place to go. It's the same thing with Homestead. It's the same thing with some other tracks. But here at Kansas, you got to run that top late in the run or else you're not going to really go anywhere, because that bottom, you just feel like you're an absolute tight box, like most drivers say on late runs.
Yeah, whenever you have someone side by side, especially with you, if you try to make corner exit on the bottom, you feel like you're turning the wheel and you just can't go. You can't turn. You get the corner exit, you have to lift, and it provides a really tough time there to make the pass happen. And that's part of why we love Kansas, right? It's not just to go to the bottom and run it the way you can, and if you get passed, you might get dropped a few spots. You have the options to at least make a slide job effort. If your truck's not feeling comfortable, you can literally move to the next lane, and it might feel much better. But right now, early on, there's a lot of trucks mid-pack. I don't know if you noticed, about 10th place or so. They are actually slipping and sliding around. Looking at the 33 at Sherwood Williford, he's one of those trucks that look like they're loose early on.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, is there's going to be drivers who are loose. There are going to be drivers who are tight here, especially if you get in dirty air. You're going to get really tight. And Sherwood Williford looking a little bit loose right now, but he's already up 2 spots from where he started, so not bad. Joey McKinney is so far the biggest mover of the race so far, up 5 positions. Remember, he's a driver who needs to get out of below the cutoff line. He's 10 points below in the 15th seed compared to Lane Allen in 12th. So he's going to have himself a good night. Some stage points would definitely help that number 18 machine, I think, obviously. He needs to get up there in a hurry.
We're seeing excellent teamwork from the 25, Stephen Hollingsworth, working the back bumper of the 28, Cody McKinney. I think he's not left that bumper since the drop of the green flag 10 laps ago. 23, Brody Hanna has fallen back to 4th place, but Cody McKinney has found himself a teammate in this number 25 Ford F-150 here. He is so close to leading the first lap, and I think right here he's going to do it for the first lead change this evening at the line. Cody McKinney, 38 1/1000ths of a second, leads that lap.
He's got Stephen Hollingsworth right on the rear bumper. They work off turn number 2. This time, Richie Coy kind of slides up, but it's no match for those drivers up on the outside, ripping the top off into turn number 3. Cody McKinney easily going to clear Richie Coy down the back straightaway. Now the battle's going on for second between the Space Force F-150 and the FTSR F-150. So those drivers, they'll go side by side. Brody Hanna trails right behind him in 4th. He's trying to look for a way around his Fury Motorsports team at Coy.
Yeah, it looks like moving to the top is probably the best bet here as the 25 now has gotten around the 19 of Richie Coy at this moment in time. 4-truck breakaway, 5th place there, 27. Ryan Chapman looks like he has got just underneath an entire second of gap there between these top 4 trucks. And the 27 of Chapman is bringing that 16 of Robert Malikian with him as they start to separate from 7th place on back. So early on, we're starting to see some gaps throughout this field.
And definitely some gaps already. Let's try to see if we can take a look at the track map as you ride on board the rear decklet of Tommy Schaefer. Excuse me, I believe. Oh, we got a yellow actually early on here. Looks like maybe Tony Solari possibly saw Justin Diltz in trouble in the 91 machine. We're going to take a look back at the replay here. Oh, boy. Definitely some avoidable contact right there, no doubt. Oh, and he collects Tony Solari. I thought I saw Tony Solari's name drop a couple spots in the running order very quickly once that yellow came out. Oh my goodness, championship implications for the playoffs for that number 11 machine. Unfortunately, just a victim. Sylvain trying to figure out where to go, and unfortunately just kind of peeked his nose into the inside way too late right there in the one.
I'm not too sure there what was going on with Justin Diltz. He came off the corner just fine, up to speed, gets around the 00 of Tyler Brown. And it just looks like Justin really checks up early. It almost looked like he hit the apron transition and felt like his truck was going to get loose, so he lifted so he didn't wreck it. In the meantime, Sylvain Jolly came up to the back bumper, and yeah, like you said, I mean, it was avoidable contact, but he also had pressure from the guys behind him trying to, make some moves. So really weird predicament, I would say, and it's involving 2 trucks, technically 3 with the 08's contact, but 91 and the 11 clearly got the worst of this one.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if we can take a look back at that replay just one more time, maybe from like another perspective from the third-person view, because it was very odd with what happened to Justin Dills. All of a sudden, it seemed like he was going a little bit slower here, and then you're just going to see the 08 kind of just come right down on him. So they're heading through the tri-oval. You can see him. I don't know. Did these two maybe? I don't know if Tyler Brown and Justin Diltz maybe got together, and that's why they were going so much slower. But when they were heading down the front stretch, then you saw them into turn 1, and Sylvain was like, I'm going to go outside. Nope, I'm going to go inside. Unfortunately, just a late move by Sylvain Jolly. So, I mean, as much as I want to sit here and put Sylvain Jolly on the hot seat for making an aggressive move to the bottom that early on, I mean, you can't really fault him because we still haven't seen what happened coming off of turn number 4 between the 91 and the 00. Like I said, maybe there was contact. Maybe the 91 was just really slow. Something happened. We don't know. But, with that being said, I mean, now you're looking at the 91. He's more than likely going to be out of this race. And Tony Solari's playoff hopes are pretty much going to go into a must-win next week.
That camera angle right there looked kind of wicked there when the 11 hit the 91 and shot him straight up into the track into the outside wall there. 91, Justin Diltz still on pit road getting his damage repaired. Tony Solari has finally exited his pit stall there after, I would imagine, almost a minute's worth of damage. That thing took a heavy hit there. To his machine, but it looks like when we come across the line, we're going to have 2 pace laps left, and we're going to go back to green flag racing on lap 17, and do a quick shout out to our series sponsor over at Martin Sports. They're a small company with a huge time product, home of the best sim gloves of all of sim racing. Their gloves, they make the most breathable and durable gloves the sim world has ever seen, and they also specialize not just that, but they do full sublimation printing on everything from team uniforms to shirts, hoodies, which allow for 0 restriction on color and gives them the absolute fastest turnaround in the business. So if you want to check out their full apparel lineup and merchandise, head yourself over to martinsports.gg, and anything you do pick up from there, use that promo code SUPERNERD. It's going to save you 25% off anything that you do purchase from martinsports.gg.
Yeah, now with this restart coming up here, Jeremy, I mean, will we see another stacked restart where maybe somebody's going to try to poke out a line and make it almost 3 wide like Stephen Hollingsworth did on that initial start? I mean, we're just going to have to find out here because there's a lot of contenders that are still trying to make their way up slowly through this field. Big circle right now on my list currently is Joey McKinney, sitting in 12th. Needs those points here. tonight if he wants to try to have any sort of chance remotely heading into next week to advance into that round of 12. That number 18 is going to try everything he can to get those stage points.
Yeah, he's going to need to do everything right now, sitting 10 points behind the first person above the cut line, that being the 14 of Lane Allen there. So needs to pick up some stuff here because right now that 14 is sitting
Side by side.
Yeah, side by side actually. So you know, you can't gain points on the guy who's running right next to you. So you have to find a little extra speed in the guy you're trying to compete to get into the point situation. The wins, I mean, the 18's been kind of competitive, but I don't think he has, you know, the speed to compete with your top four in the points and top four in the track right now, that being the Cody McKinney, Stephen Hollingsworth, Brody Hannon, and Richie Coy. But if you can do anything just to pick up just a few spots between this race and next race, 10 points is really doable. You just got to make sure you're a little bit faster in your competition. But we're about to go back to green flag here. Pace cars are going to dip down at any moment in time. We're going to see our second leader of tonight, Cody McKinney, the 28. He's going to take this restart with his, I guess, teammate, so to speak, here for Kansas. That's being Stephen Hollingsworth. Green flag is out for the second time this evening. And great restart by the 25 to 28. 25 actually got a little bit better of a jump than the 28 heading off into turn one.
Yeah, great start. Almost some contact there, nearly going into turn number one between the 28 Toyota and the 25 Ford. Off turn number two they go. Cody McKinney's got the advantage, but Stephen Hollingsworth puts his left front fender right on the door of that 28 to side draft them. They're still going to be side by side as they head into 3 and 4.
Yep, side by side, Brody Hanna broke away from Richie Coyne, the 19. Brody's going to look to the inside, almost 3 wide here down the front straightaway. It's amongst the leaders. I think we got 3 wide mid-pack right now, but the 25 finds himself back on the rear bumper. The 28, Brody drives it deep into turn one, passes the 25, had a nose over the 28, but that momentum on the top side is definitely going to secure the 28, Cody McKinney, into the lead. And here comes Richie Coy back on the inside.
Richie Coy's trying to get to the inside of his teammate of Brody Hanna. Not going to be enough. It's still Cody McKinney, though, and Hollingsworth up at the top side of the racetrack. Hanna and Coy will use the apron to their advantage, but at the cost of a little bit of tire wear. Oh, and you see Hanna get a little bit loose there on exit of the apron. Back down the front stretch into 1 and 2 they go. Still side by side for the race lead, riding on board with your IROC 93.5 camera driver Ryan Chapman, sitting in P5, trying to rebound after a horrible night last week at the Milwaukee Mile.
Yeah, I received a penalty from the admins for the next couple of weeks on a little bit of a probationary period for back-to-back contacts, but you know, that's not going to stop him from making the charge up and try to get all the points he possibly can. Running a really strong race early on here as we're halfway through stage number one. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th place guys seem to elect to take the bottom, but clearly the speed is with the 2 leaders right now, the 25 and the 28, just continuing to run that 3rd groove right up against the outside wall. Alan Duranko in the 2, he runs the outside every single chance he gets. He gets a great launch off of turn 4, gets underneath the 16 to Malakian at the front straightaway.
Kind of just happened to Marshall Johnson there about a couple corners ago. Notice the number 9 machine going way back through the field, and you could just see him. He is off the pace just a little bit, back by a 2nd and a 10th, about a lap ago. I don't know what happened to that. Oh, we got a car around, back straightaway. Kyle Milliken sliding through the infield. He's going to save it, but that's going to bring out the 2nd caution of the night. We'll have to get a replay on that, and also maybe some information on the 9 as well coming up.
Bad bump there by the 29. Just collects him, and you saw the 29's nose barely creep into your camera angle there. He actually came up and hit the wall after the contact of the back bumper of Kyle Milliken, and then it set the 42 really loose, overcorrected once, and down to the inside. And thankfully, no major contact was made by both these guys, and that's a scary sight to see your nose jump to the inside of the track. You're going to make this a hard hit, but great job from Kyle Milliken to keep it going and not hit the wall.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt about it. Just unfortunately a bump he probably wasn't ready for from Tommy Schaefer, so really just driver error on the 42 car, just because I don't think he was ready for the 29. I mean, sure, the 29 probably could have hit him in a different angle, but, you know, the story tells itself. Here's a replay back at what happened to Marshall Johnson. and this was heading into 1 and 2. You're going to see him. He's riding side by side, coming up the racetrack, up, almost gets into the wall, side by side with Lane Allen behind Joey McKinney, and then heading into the car. Oh, he just wall glues it, like you say, Jeremy, and they just have to avoid him there going into 3 and 4.
Man, he just barely was up against that wall, and he lost a crap ton of time right there on everybody else. But he got that caution for himself, so it doesn't really affect him too bad because they're all going to regroup back up. But he lost several spots, and it's an easier place to pass here, but it's still difficult because if you have the type side rolling, we've already talked about how the inside just has a tough time making a pass if the guy side by side, if he was running at least equal times here. But we're going to jump to our first picture-in-picture commercial break, and we'll be back before the start of the third drop the green flag. And back to full screen here as we got just under a half a lap left before we're going back to green flag, which will resume on lap number 27. So it'll be a 14-lap shootout between now and stage end. And if it's anything like we saw in the first couple of starts here, we're going to see the 20 and the 25 most likely hook up once more. But Fury Motorsports they're there. They're really competitive, at least with the 19 and the 23. Can they do anything to take over this combination right now that's leading this race? Pace car is down. Green flag going to fly any moment. And there we go. Our green flag once more here for the Kansas 200. 25 has basically an exact restart from last one. Gets the advantage into turn number 1. And let's see if this time he can do anything with it to pass the 28.
Lots of guys trying to go spread out into 1 and 2. Not really anything going on. Robert Milikian got a little bit loose through the center, but they're 3 wide for the race lead going into 3 and 4. Hannah bottom, McKinney middle, Hollingsworth up top. They're going to be side by side. What will Richie Corey do if presented a run? That time at the line, Stephen Hollingsworth leads that time by into 1.
This is first, third, and fourth in the points. 1, 2, 3, 3 wide here early on in this race. I don't know if you want to press this issue for the points this early, but here we are providing some excellent racing for you guys tuning in right now. But look at this. After the 3 wide is over, back to the same story. Cody McKinney leading the 25 of Hollingsworth on the top lane once more, but Brody Hanna's got his best opportunity this time. Going down below the apron, it will be led by Cody McKinney. Last lap was actually given to the 25 of Hollingsworth when they were 3 wide, so we had our second lead change of the evening amongst 3 different drivers, but right now it's back to Cody McKinney once more.
Jeremy, that 23 machine's hanging tough on the bottom. You see McKinney, he's going to get clear of him now, but just due to that little bit of an arrow push from Hollingsworth to the back of McKinney, that's really keeping him out front and really ripping that top lane the best he can. Brody Hanna and Richie Coy, though, they are not bad on the bottom at all. You see everybody else, though, kind of running the top. These guys trying to conserve their tires here with just a handful of laps to go before the end of this first and only stage. You see them trying to migrate to the bottom. The 19 cut off Ryan Chapman, ultimately used him as a pick. Chapman slides in line right in front of Alan Duranko as they head back down into 3 and 4.
And the 27, Ryan Chapman, tried to enter really low in turn number 1, and the 19, Richie Coy, slammed that door on him, cut off the nose a little bit, and made him check up, and now they got about a 5 or 6 truck separation between them two. So the top 4 trucks now are going to resume back in their own little pack here, but still a lot of pressure behind that 27 Chapman. There's a lot of hungry drivers that want to be in this top 5, and the number 2, Alan Duranko, puts the 29 of Tommy Schaefer into a tough spot, puts him in the outside wall. He's going to lose several spots down the back straight.
Not what Tommy Schaefer needs, no doubt about it. Remember, had a really, really awful night, just like Ryan Chapman and Tony Solari 1 week ago with the Milwaukee Mile. Tommy was about 4th in the points, I believe, dropped to 8th now, just 11 points ahead of the cutoff line. So all of these guys cannot afford to lose or miss out on stage points, and they definitely can't afford to be wrecked out early in this race.
No, we're seeing a lot of good racing. We expected this, right? But now there's playoff implications. So you want to take it maybe a little bit easier if you're on the bubble or on the edge of maybe falling out of it. But, regardless, though, these guys are having a lot of fun out here. You can clearly tell this time a lot more drivers are running the upper side of this track as we got 8 laps to go before we're going to see that caution flag fly once more at minimum. So 3 wide here, 29 Tommy Schaefer makes the move to the outside, 33 of Sherwood Williford. On the inside there is the number 88 of TJ Bartell and some new colors this weekend. They go quickly back to 2 wide going to turn 3.
Back to 3 wide, back to 2 wide. You see Bartell going to the inside, trying to go below the 2 teammates of Tyler Brown and Tommy Schaefer back down the front straightaway. Just 11 laps to go, or should I say 12 laps to go before the stage is over. This time heading into 1 and 2, though Bartell still trying to use that bottom lane to his advantage, saving a little bit of tire, but it might be too little too late. Tommy Schaefer ducks out of line from the top. He thought about going to the bottom, that being the 16 of Robert Malikian. Now Malikian will duck out of line, try to run the middle to make up some ground on that Fury Motorsports driver of Michael Blackner off 4.
Tommy Schaefer driving this thing like it's Darlington, man. He is up against this wall, especially on exit turn 2. He is leaving little to no room for this truck here. As we're going to look at a little camera angle that we had produced yesterday and on Monday. Just gets actually made a little contact that time. But he just gets this thing so close to corner exit, maximizing every ounce of real estate he possibly can. Run up, but look how close he is. Him and Michael Blackner right in front of him. Half a truck length separates him in that outside wall going down the front straightaway here. Pretty impressive stuff here from the 29.
Yeah, definitely some impressive stuff, no doubt about it. But so far back up at the front, Cody McKinney starting to kind of pull away just a little bit from Brody Hanna. We saw these guys race. We saw the tire wear kind of start to affect some of these guys. And for Richie Coy and Brody Hanna, it is not looking very good. Brody Hanna still up to second, but Richie Coy just dropped 2 positions practically in half a lap, went from 4th down to 6th, and he could be losing a position to Alan Duranko pretty soon here.
Yeah, looks like it here on the front straightaway. Heading off into turn number 1, side by side here still with the 25 and the 19 in a weird spot for these guys. Not being inside the top 3 for that matter. But here we are, Alan Duranko making a move to the top side now of the 25 of Hollingsworth. Entering turn 3 side by side. This is going to allow the 19 maybe to separate from these two a little bit here as we're coming to 3 to go before caution.
Yeah, and a lot of great racing, a lot of stage points up on the line. We talked about Joey McKinney, who was restarting around 11th or 12th. He is back in 16th, was battling with Lane Allen in that number 14 machine. Well, guess what? Lane is already up to the 4th position. So this is looking better and better for him. And not only is he up to 4th, he's going for 3rd on Ryan Chapman, who could also definitely use some valuable stage points. Came into this race just a handful of points up above the cutoff line, obviously, in the 10th seed. And Lane Allen going to get around that 27. And maybe we can see Lane Allen possibly get to Brody Hanna before this is all said and done.
What did I talk about 10 laps prior during that restart when the 18 of Cody McKinney was competing with the 14 for points? And the Cody McKinney drops down now to 16th and Lane Allen out of a cannon now in top 3. So that's a huge shift in points there between those two guys alone. That's right at your cutoff area. So some moves made from Lane Allen come to the 1 to go at the stage. Every one of these guys inside, actually the entire field for that matter, going to be single file for the final time here. And it looks like Cody McKinney is starting to show his muscle here for the long parts of the runs.
Yeah, great run here by Cody McKinney. I had a big brain fart. Thought we were ending the stage on lap 45. Realized it was the end of lap 40. So I guess that means I need to do a little bit of homework probably next time before I make a call. But Cody McKinney coming off turn 4 this time will pick up the stage and earn more valuable playoff points, Jeremy, to that so nice playoff point run that he has going on right now. Top of the playoff picture, locked in with a win last week at Milwaukee. There we go. Caution's out. Cody McKinney, stage winner.
If he is going to have this kind of speed in the middle to late parts of the run, this guy is going to be just on a mission to kind of sweep the rest of this race, and he has every chance of doing so here. But as these guys get wound down, going to be heading down to pit road for Ford Fresh Virtual Goodyears. We're going to kick it back once more to picture-in-picture commercial break. We'll be back with you guys shortly before the drop. The green flag for stage 2.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
video. And back to full screen action here. We got just over 1 lap left before we're going to go back to green flag here for the Kansas 200, which will resume on lap 46. And top spot did not change hands. However, second place, though, belongs to the 23 of Brody Hanna. Third place now belongs to the 27 of Ryan Chapman. Lane Allen lost 1 spot. Richie Coy, he hit that wall a few laps prior to stage end. He's going to be restarting on lap 5. Hopefully that truck is in good shape for the long haul of this stage 2. Stephen Hollingsworth back to 6th place. Malikian in 7th, only lost 1 spot since the start of this race here. Alan Duranko up 1 spot from his starting position, but he was up there fighting for the top 5, so down a couple spots from that pit stop. Michael Blackner in 9th. He's up 4 spots from his starting spot, and then TJ Bartel up 4 as well. Going to be restarting this race in 10th, and I guess that is my Nerd TV Top 10 recap, unannounced, but given to you anyways because I was feeling generous, I suppose. And we got just over half a lap left, Jason, before we're going to see the green flag.
You're such a generous guy, man. I appreciate that Nerd TV
You're
Top
welcome,
10
man.
recap, man. That actually makes my night, you know. But, hey, all jokes aside, look at this. Cody McKinney is going to be on the bottom. Brody Hanna is going to be up top. Will we see Lane Allen, who hasn't really had the opportunity to be on that second row, and also Ryan Chapman? They haven't been presented with this opportunity yet. What will they do? Will they go to a different lane? Will they stick with their designated partners in front of them? What is going to happen? I think that the 23 is going to get a good enough restart. We'll have to see here. Cody McKinney going to lead them down.
Yeah, the 2 teammates have really separated themselves. So who's going to get to your teammate first, so to speak here? But green flag is out. Cody McKinney gets a slightly better restart than the 23 of Brody Hanna. Ryan Chapman in the 27 is going to get right to the back bumper of Cody McKinney. Getting to turn number 1, every single truck remains side by side unless you're Cody McKinney. He does separate himself. He's single file, 2 truck length advantage coming off onto the backstretch.
Great restart for Cody McKinney to be able to clear Brody Hanna. Ryan Chapman battling there with Hanna heading into turns 3 and 4. Brody Hanna ripping that top lane. Look at, Hollingsworth gets a little bit loose behind Lane Allen. They're able to keep it going. Richie Coy drops to the bottom. They're going to put the 27 in the middle of Ryan Chapman. Back to 2 wide now, entering turns 1 and 2 with Hanna all over the rear bumper of Cody McKinney exiting 2.
It almost looked like Stephen Hollingsworth bumped the 14 of Allen in the center of 3 and 4. It almost did the same exact thing on corner exit of turn number 2. It got them both loose there, taking all the air off the back of Lane Allen. Going through 3 and 4, a little bit more separation between those 2. Ryan Chapman slides up, going to claim 3rd spot all by himself, and Richie Coy is sliding back a little bit further on the bottom. Needs to get to the top if he can. It looks like he has a gap behind the 25. Does not take it, though. And we're seeing Brody Hanna going for the pass here. Gets it done there. Slides back in front of Cody McKinney. And Brody Hanna, for the first time in this race, leads the way.
He made that happen on the bottom, too. We have not seen that really all race long so far. Big statement out of the Fury Motorsports driver trying to lock himself into the next round. Came in as the 3rd seed, only 3 points out from the points lead, but obviously, or should I say 2nd of Richie Coy, who holds that basically points lead now that Cody McKinney is all locked in. But here we go, switcheroo. Cody McKinney tried to go to the bottom, not enough. Brody Hanna puts the left front fender to the right rear quarter panel, entering turns 3 and 4.
No.
Can Cody McKinney try to clear him? Oh, Lane Allen into the wall in 3 and 4, something he did not need. Field scrambles, and it looks like everybody's going to get by unscathed.
Gets to the very entrance of turn 3, and Lane Allen had 1 wobble out of that truck, just slight looseness, overcorrected into the outside wall, and then he got slowed up by his side, just dragging across the wall the entire corner of 3 and 4, and he's going to lose every single position there. Drops back from 3rd back to 19th or 18th here, going to the Nerd TV replay, and you're going to see it one wobble right there. And there it is. Now he's wall glued, and every single truck goes around on the inside.
He had a little wibble and got glue walled right there, entering 3 and 4. Yeah, I know you would have liked that, but hey, that's what happens, man. Especially at these 1.5 miles. If you're running that top lane, you have to be very careful that you don't get A, tight, B, loose or just simply drive it right into the fence. Because once you get up into that wall, it is very, very, very hard to get off of it. You could see right there heading through 3 and 4, you didn't just see little rubs up on the tire, or not the tires, you didn't see little rubs up in the outside wall. When they were rubs, they were like scrapes down the wall just because it's so hard to get out of the wall. We'll take a look here heading into 3 and 4. You'll see those scrapes up on the outside from Allen and also other drivers. So here we go, entering turn 3. You'll see it kind of starts right here, coming up right there, and then it doesn't really stop for a while because you're kind of just glued into that wall, like you say, Jeremy, all the time. And it's very, very hard to get out of it, no doubt about it.
Yeah, there's not too many other ways to describe it. I mean, you can call it suction, you can call it the wall glue. It's just there's no way. You have to really slow up your truck, get the momentum off from pressing into it to be able to turn away from it. And it just destroys any type of run that you have. It doesn't hurt the vehicle, so to speak. It just really hurts your lap time and puts a lot of people in a weird predicament, especially at Kansas, where a lot of guys like to run the upper half of the track. It takes away that preferred running groove, right? So. But he's backed up and gathered a couple spots since that happened for him. A lot of these guys still in the top 10 range, running basically side by side, scrambling all across this track. But the top 5 have kind of figured out for the most part, or at least kind of settled into their lines that they're going to run for this first part of the long stage 2.
Yeah, and we'll have to see here how this long run really progresses. Brody Hanna taking advantage of that bottom with the clean air, so he's going to take his time to save a little bit of tire. Cody McKinney, though, says, nah, man, I'm going right to the top. You saw him ripping it there in 3 and 4, so he's trying to get back to the 23 machine. Battle for 4th, though, between Ryan Chapman, Stephen Hollingsworth. They'll head side by side now, exiting turn number 2 this time.
And here we are, turn number 2. The 27 gets a really low exit there on the corner. Still side by side with the 25 of Stephen Hollingsworth, who had a really fast truck. Remember, he was drafting Cody McKinney basically the entire stage 1, but starting back outside of row 2, he's struggling a little bit to get back into that top 3 there. Makes the pass once more on the 27 Ryan Chapman, but he is just, he cannot get to the Richie Coy 19 machine, or he can't get to the 28 of Cody McKinney. But Brody Hanna, I'm really surprised by this guy. He's got a 0.3 of a second lead over second place right now. I mean, he was stuck there. He was trying to get that pass to happen on the bottom, just could not do it. But now he's finally clear with that fresh air. He has all the downforce needed on the nose of that truck. He is now showing what he's worth leading this race.
Yeah, he's doing such a great job. I mean, it's been really cool to see him obviously leading this race here and such. So, I mean, we'll have to see how it continues, obviously. But he's just been doing a great job, obviously, in that number 23 machine, looking to have himself a great win. It would be cool to see how he does here tonight, being able to take over the lead from Cody McKinney, Richie Coy, and all these guys who've been so good all season. And not a disrespectful comment towards Brody Hanna. It's just when he's been up there, he hasn't really been able to close it most of the time. So for Brody Hanna, this has got to feel like a good win, but the battle's tightening up right now between him and Cody McKinney. Those two are going to be going at it here pretty shortly.
Those 0.3 of a second from 2 laps ago just deleted right now. Now he is being tangoed, so to speak, down the back straightaway through 3 and 4 now. Cody not given much room at all, putting the pressure on Brody to not make a simple mistake because he will pounce if needed to. Cody has not really left the bottom 2 or the top too much. He went to the bottom one time to try to make a pass, just could not get it done, and now he's going to ride behind the 23 and just see if he can get him to make any sort of mistake. As you see, the 25 of Hollingsworth, he's got some speed now right behind these guys. He's to the outside and passing the 19 of Richie Coy, coming to through 3 and 4.
Yeah, great run for Stephen Hollingsworth here tonight. Definitely something that he probably needed. No doubt about it, but this has been a great run for that 25 machine. We've seen how fast he's been recently in these past few weeks, being able to pass that Fury Motorsports driver. And look at this. Here's a driver who's coming up through the field. Not only is Ryan Chapman needing a good night, but here comes Tommy Schaefer. Talked about it a couple times earlier in the broadcast about the 29 needing a good run. Yes, he's up above the playoff cutoff line by, a decent amount, not a comfortable amount, but a decent amount. And had an awful week last week. ruined his podium finishing streak, and he's looking to try to rebound here and be in the top 5 this early. Got to feel pretty good if you're Schaefer.
Yeah, 100% there. He was struggling to get, he got back to about 10th place or so, 9th place, 8th place, and he kind of just sat there. But now since he's cracked himself into the top 5, that truck is looking a little more stronger. I wonder if he made some type of adjustments on that pit stop between stage break to get that thing handling better. But right now, it's definitely showcasing what he's worth. And 19 has a little check up there on the inside of the 25 of Hollingsworth that's going to allow Tommy Schaefer to get right in position here and maybe take over 4th place from that 19.
And yeah, we'll have to see here as they work their way through 1 and 2. You see Chapman trying to work to the back bumper of the 29, but man, this 29 machine has absolutely lit up here these last few laps, looking to get to the back bumper of Coy and Hollingsworth. And there's your battle for the race lead, still nose to tail between the 23 and 28, this time by at the line. Lap 63 goes up on the board, and Brody Hanna continues to lead this race. Can he get his first win since Kansas Oval back in May of this year? So Brody Hanna trying to sweep the Kansas races this year in the Martin Sports Truck Series.
He's got a great opportunity to do so right now. Cody McKinney still not letting go of that pressure, though, and 19 Richie Coy still not letting go of the pressure underneath the 25 of Hollingsworth. Just continues to run side by side here, but being on the top side, when you have the equal truck, the outside is going to prevail 9 times out of 10, and right now it is showing it. The outside works, I think, much stronger through 1 and 2 than it does 3 and 4, because you have that corner that sharpens up a little bit more. That outside banking just kind of really helps you propel that momentum. You can be a little more relaxed on corner 4. That's what allows the inside to have a little more speed. You see Richie just carrying a bunch of speed through the bottom there that time, and actually makes the strong move, makes the pass happen. He's going to hold the bottom through the trial over here. Tommy Schaefer trying to help Hollingsworth, cannot get him back to the door of Richie Coy, so that pass is officially complete. Now Tommy Schaefer trying to get around this 25.
Yeah, and he's going to pull a little bit of a crossover maneuver, trying to get to the bottom of Hollingsworth off turn 2. Not enough. He'll still close up on the rear tailgate of that Space Force F-150, that being Tommy Schaefer. He's going to put a little bit of a bumper to him almost down the front straightaway. Utilizes a little bit of the apron. Got to be careful. The way he was on it, you can get very, very loose down there. Still battling the 25, and here comes Ryan Chapman saying, hey, boys, I want to play and earn some points. He's looking to make a 2-for-1 special here off turn number 2.
Going to get a great chance here through the 29. Tommy Schaefer had a really low entrance into turn number 1, had to severely check up that truck so he didn't miss the apex of the corner and allowed the 27 to temporarily get to the outside quarter panel. Does not make the pass happen there, but does a little bit of a crossover there as Tommy loose off of turn 4. Ryan Chapman now has the nose advantage coming through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, and here's something we should definitely talk about probably, that being not only the 29 of Tommy Schaefer getting past the 27, but here comes that 00 machine right to the outside, that being Tyler Brown. He's been a driver who's been very consistent most of the season, finished 8th last week at Milwaukee, currently came in tonight being 8th up on the playoff leaderboard, so he was in. So looking like it could be another comfortable and successful night for both those two drivers in that stable, both the 29 and 00.
And we're on lap 68. So that signals the halfway point in tonight's race. And speaking of the 00, he got really loose off of turn 4. I think he tail slapped it even. And then a half a lap prior, Cody McKinney actually gave a bump to the 23 directly in the center of 1 and 2, trying to make a mistake happen a little bit more so than just riding on the tail end there. But I don't know if it's affected the 00 enough, but he's been one of those trucks that's been a little bit looser as the run progresses. And so with that tail slap there, that might have actually tightened up the machine. Who knows? But he gets a great run through 1 and 2 this time here. Going to pass the 27 of Chapman. So maybe that tail slap is what he needed in that truck.
Maybe, but definitely don't want to be in the wall for too long, especially if you hit that right front just in the right spot. And you notice too, Jeremy, that since these guys went back racing, there he is loose again off turn number 4. everybody, since these tires started wearing, has mainly gone up to the top side of the racetrack. You're really only going to the bottom if you want to save a little bit more, or if you have nowhere to go, or if you're just stuck down there. Somebody was able to make a pass on you, like Ryan Chapman. You see him, I'm sure he wants to run the top, just nowhere to really get in line. Now he does. He'll slot right in front of Michael Blackner. 5-truck pack now entering 3 and 4. Tyler Brown, the lone driver on the bottom. He's again loose off turn number 4. Gonna lose one position to TJ Bartel and could lose another one here to Robert Malicki, and he'll work to the outside down the front stretch.
Just kind of want to update the points here halfway through this event. The guys below the cut line, the 33 of Williford, the 11 of Tony Solari, and the 18 of Joseph McKinney. Joseph McKinney finds himself 3 laps down because he had a packet loss situation going on with that truck. Tony Solari was the one involved in the first crash there. He's still on the lead lap, only 7 seconds off the leader, so I don't think that truck's too badly hurt. And then Sherwood Williford, the only one without damage at the moment. He's running in P14. So I'm mentioning that because, JP Burns won't be here for this week and next week. And this is actually increasing his chances when he has the 3 guys he needs to stay in front of, not having a strong night here at Kansas.
Yeah, definitely not a strong night here. You're looking at Sherwood Williford, man. Just a struggle bus for him here tonight. Came in, obviously, below the cutoff line on the 13th seed, just a couple points back from Lane Allen in the 14. And Lane's been having a pretty good night here tonight. So this is not looking the best for that 33 of Sherwood Williford. Lane's actually back to 16th now that I say that. That being, I believe, the Woglu he got earlier on. But nevertheless, I mean, he had some stage points earlier on. It's looking like a solid night for the 14. Just needs to rebound.
Yeah, he's not really recovered well since that moment. I don't think the truck's hurt. It's just not having the strong comeback that we would have expected at this point in time as we are stringing out this run even furthermore. I think this is a great time to go to our Turn Up the Tune segment where we're listening to the trucks go around Kansas. We'll be back here shortly. All right, and that was Turn Up the Twos, and we got to listen to the trucks go around this 1.5 mile Kansas Speedway. And Tommy Schaefer here in the 29 with a really fast long run setup here. Now to the outside of the 19, and Richie Coy dips down to maybe sneak in a little side draft there to carry that momentum to turn number 3. But this has been pretty impressive stuff for this 29 truck here tonight.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt about it. This thing is turned on the jets here as they approach now into lap 82 this time. Brody Hanna still leading, but Tommy Schaefer being able to come up through the field very, very nicely. Up 2 spots from where he started battling with Richie Coy, who was your pole sitter. So maybe we could see that 29 machine outlast and outdo those 2 Fury Motorsports guys who have dominated and absolutely dominated here at Kansas and also the 1.5 miles this season.
Yeah, this has kind of been their staple here. And the FTSR League this season is these 1.5 miles for sure. And they go back to single file momentarily. This is going to allow them to get back maybe to the back end of the 23 Brody Hanna as they continue to run the bottom and the top. Brody's running a little bit lower in that upper groove. So 3 different distinct lines here around this track late into this run. Pit stops might be coming up soon. We're approaching 50 laps to go in this Kansas 200. And I want to give a quick shout out to one of our series or our Nerd TV sponsors, rather. That's going to be Dusty Pete's, the official hobby shop of the Nerditudes, the hobby store with a whole lot more. The store is based out of New York, and Dusty Pete's is your place, your one-stop shop from anything's nerdy. So if collecting is your game, then Dusty Pete's is the name to go check out. From action figurines to collectible cards, such as Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, sports cards of any sports, to die-cast replicas, really. And they have a bunch of comics. Huge plethora of collections of comics. So if you're looking to update your collection of anything nerdy, check out Dusty Pete's at dustypete's.com. And when you do purchase anything from them, use that promo code SUPERNERD. It's going to save you 10% off when you do purchase from Dustin at Dusty Pete's.
Need to see if he's got any Ultimate Spider-Man comics that I don't have. Definitely going to check that out, no doubt about it, because I can use some more Ultimate Spider-Man comics in my life. Absolutely love those. But you know something, Jeremy? You just mentioned green flag pit stops coming up here pretty soon. Already seen a couple guys in the back start to pit, that being Tony Solari, Justin Dilt. I want to say with 50 laps to go, or less than now, I think you're probably going to see these guys start to pit here around the lap 90, lap 95 mark here. I mean, these tires are pretty shot out. We are almost 2 seconds worth of fall off since they last restarted on fresh Goodyears on lap 42. Pit stops are looming here in just a few laps, no doubt about it.
I would imagine so, getting to that halfway point in this stage. And the 29 off of turn number 2 got pretty loose, at least from my angle he did. Able to save it. But yeah, them running side by side now, they've actually caught back to the 23 at the same token. So, you know, if he keeps this up, he's going to be leading this thing before we get to pit road here. He does make the pass finally happen. Tommy Schaefer moves up the P2. These guys have a 2-second separation between themselves and 4th place Cody McKinney, coming to turn 4 and onto the front stretch here to complete lap 87. Nose to tail all below that white solid line there. But we got one truck coming down pit road, trying to see exactly who that is. It looks like it is the number 28. Cody McKinney gives up 4th place to come down pit road, and we saw a couple trucks behind them. It looked like the 22 of Michael Blackner and the 33 of Sherwood Williford's are going to start off these green flag pit stops.
Trying to do the undercut, that being Cody McKinney. Lost a handful of positions here on this green flag run. We'll have to see which driver who has been in the mix all night is going to fall. That being Stephen Hollingsworth now. He'll come into the pits this time, but I've seen how quick he is on these shorter runs, and even on the long runs been able to hang in there. So Stephen Hollingsworth, Marshall Johnson into the pits this time.
Yeah, a couple more guys coming down pit road, and this is wide open here. You're going to see in the next 5 laps or so everybody else make their way down pit road. Fury Motorsports 1 and 2 right now. It looks like, they're going to split up. 23 Brody Hanna coming down pit road, gets to speed on time, and I think Tommy Schaefer might have pushed the issue a little more than what you needed to. Pit road speed is 45 miles an hour here at Kansas, and he hit the line right around 50, at least from my scoring. So let's see what iRacing does with that, but really close call nonetheless.
I tell you what, Jeremy, if he doesn't get a penalty, that's going to be pit entry of the year for that 29 machine here. And here comes Richie Coy. He'll dive down into the pits this time by. He's trying to maximize, gets it down right below 45. So now he's just going to try to maintain. I believe pit might be 55 here, possibly. So yeah, it is 55. Maybe that 29 machine did in fact make it. But lots of guys choosing to pit at different laps. Question's going to be who made the right strategy call. Lots of guys coming in this time by. Here comes Kyle Milligan. He's off pit road. You're about to see a whole lot of trucks everywhere on this racetrack.
Shout out to iRacing for putting the 45-mile-an-hour pit road speed on the info tab. But I guess they get that 5-mile-an-hour buffer. That's just why we're seeing the speeds up in the 50 range. But pit stops continue to happen right now. The 29, the 28s, those guys are side by side on the front straightaway. This is for right now 5th and 6th as they are passing the 88 of Bartel on the inside, the 9 of Marshall Johnson. The 19 of Richie Coy, he's going to be way farther back in this pack here. Slow pit stop presumably, if I didn't miss anything on that notion. But Tommy Schaefer right now leading the way over the 28s, going through 3 and 4.
Yeah, this 23 machine's been so fast here all night long. Started up on the front row and now just holding and maintaining basically right where he started. And Tommy Schaefer just ran his fastest lap of the race, 30.843. And not only was that his fast lap of the race, that was the fastest lap of the race, period. So Tommy Schaefer trying to show some late speed here coming up just with 34 laps to go once they hit lap 101. A few laps beforehand, obviously. But I think, Jeremy, if there's anybody who can compete with that 23, we already saw him catch him once on the long run. I think it's going to be Tommy Schaefer, who also runs another fast lap, by the way, 30.793.
What a huge difference in before and after pit road right now. They guys are top 3, were neck and neck, and right now Brody's got a 0.7 of a second lead over Tommy Schaefer. Cody McKinney 1.5, and then Stephen Hollingsworth resumes in 4th place, 4 seconds back. So really spaced out these guys in this top 5. Really surprised Brody is able to maintain that lead after pit stops. Being one of the furthest guys back. I thought maybe the 29 of Schaefer would have overtaken him, or at least Cody McKinney, the 28. But nonetheless, doing an excellent job here. Going through the rest of the field, a couple guys side by side, at least close to it. The 16 of Malikian and the 88 of TJ Bartel. This is the battle for 7th place on the track off of corner turn 2. Still remains side by side. Pretty good racing through midway in this pack.
Yeah, just everybody is really all over the place right now. I want to see if we can take a look here at the track map this time. You see everybody just kind of all over the place, varying with time. You look at the iRacing iFlag track map, pretty spread out, but obviously we only have 21 trucks that are racing here. Currently, it looks like only 19 or should I say 18, I believe, are on the racetrack still. So, I mean, it's spread out, but it's not really spread out that much just because of the car count we have here tonight. But you could just see, for an example, that this track definitely has made this race a whole lot wider and more strung out because of the varying pit strategies here late in the going.
And the biggest cluster of trucks right now on the track is on your screen, led by the 27 of Chapman on the bottom. Sherwood Williford and the 33 on the top right now. As they go single file momentarily, the 33 doing a crossover, trying to get that momentum carried through turn 3 on the bottom half here. Michael Blackner, the 22, is lurking directly behind these guys. And then 2 more trucks behind them. Alan Duranko in the 2, Tony Solara in the 11. They're all within a second or so of each other at the start-finish line right now, completing lap number 96 of scheduled 134.
Great racing back here between Sherwood Williford and Ryan Chapman, who is kind of up there in the top 5, but now has fallen back to the 10th place spot. But man, this 23 machine, talk about everything right tonight, man. This is trying to sweep the Kansas races this year for the Martin Sports Truck Series, trying to pick up his 5th win of the season, being Brody Hanna. And man, that gap was 7 maybe 8 tenths of a second a handful of laps ago. Well, guess what? Tommy Schaefer is now back by about to be 3 seconds, man. This 23 machine is absolutely hooked up. And I guarantee if Richie Coy somehow ended up on podium tonight and he said, his usual, "What's up, nerds?" I'm sure he'd probably say that we use one of Brody's sets, because that's just kind of what happens. Whenever Brody Hanna runs really good on these 1.5-mile sets, it seems like Brody Hanna is always the builder for the Fury Motorsports setups. And I think that's really why you always see him up at the front here, because it's something that really he bases it off of, and then everybody else likes to tweak it themselves depending on their driving style. But now the gap, 3.4 seconds. Wow, Brody Hanna, a rocket ship here tonight in Kansas.
I thought something happened to the 29, and I went back and I watched lap by lap by lap on the roof camera of Tommy Schaefer. And let me tell you, that is just straight up speed coming from the 23 Brody Hanna. Just 2 to 3 seconds, just gapped second and third place, just like that, no problem. 28 Cody McKinney is very slowly creeping on this back bumper of Tommy Schaefer for second place, but Brody Hanna out like a rocket ship, just put on the boosters, and he is gone right now. But we still have 34, 35 laps in this event. The long run might be shot, but I mean, he's got such a great lead right now that this might not be a bad idea, to have that 3-second lead kind of. If it does fall apart, he's got all that time to cool off the tires and make a second run at it. As see Richie Coy coming back to the image here, he's now making this thing a 3-truck race for second, third, and fourth position. And as these guys are doing that, quick shout out to our one of our products here at Nerditudes. That's going to be Nerd Swag at swag.nerditudes.gg. It has the official Martin Sports gloves and jerseys, which you see on your screen right now on the right-hand side, customized for us. They're super cool looking, very comfortable, high contrast colors, badass for sure. But they don't stop there. We also have this new lineup called Shirtitudes, which has some nerdy designs on it. I think we've got 3 in the store now. More are being worked on, so stay tuned on the website for updates on that. And then we also have some cups, some bottles, some mouse pads, and more stuff will be added in the future. So once again, that is swag.nerditudes.gg. And if you do check out with us, especially with those jerseys and gloves, you get that nice 25% off when you use that Super Nerd code at checkout.
Definitely check those things out, because those shirts, I already mentioned it in yesterday's broadcast, but man, those Shirtitudes we have are absolutely hilarious. And for anybody watching, definitely check out the one Shirtitude. My favorite, already talked about it with Dustin, has got to be the Nerd Nutrition Facts. I just think that that's absolutely freaking hilarious, no doubt about it, just because of all the references and puns that you get. Or the old Cartridge Blow Me shirt. And obviously, you could put that to how you want it. But that shirt's really funny, too. But it's not. There he goes, right there. There it is. Oh, well, it's just an all-black shirt. He's not doing it, man. That's a ghost right there. Happy Halloween, everybody. But he's trying. You can kind of see it. There it is. And you see it's got all the Nerd Nutrition Facts. I think that shirt is just absolutely hilarious there. Definitely check it out. No doubt about it. And somebody who's checking right now is Brody Hanna, still checking out by 3 3/4 of a second, man. I mean, Jeremy, this guy, I don't know what's gotten into Brody Hanna, but man, he really wants this one here tonight.
Dustin trying everything to break that green screen effect going on, and just could not do it because, well, our colors are green, so to have that deleted, it's going to be a tough task there. He's going to try it one more time with a white shirt, and it's just not happening, my guy.
It's not happening,
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry. He's got the Harry Potter magic or invisible cloak right now on here, so he's back. Look at that. Great magic trick. But it was a great solid effort there nonetheless to showcase those shirts. Maybe we'll get a little promo image to pop up for you guys so you can see it next week. But going back to the action, Richie Coy, second place right now, past the 29 of Schaefer. He's around the 28 of Cody McKinney, which Cody has really fallen off, surprisingly. Almost 5 seconds now behind Brody Hanna. And the 25 of Hollingsworth is back into the image, trying to get himself into fourth place.
This going to be a learning curve, Jeremy, for this 28 machine here tonight. We know how strong this 28's been all season. Arguably, you could say he's been the best truck. But when it comes to these mile and a halfs, man, it is just so damn hard to beat these Fury Motorsport guys, especially Richie Coy, but Brody Hanna too, who seems like he's putting a lot of time into these mile and a half sets. But you also got to remember the top 3 divisions of NASCAR mainly go to mile and a half racetracks. So, I mean, with that being said, you know, you got to kind of work around it just a little bit. So we'll have to see how he does, but definitely a learning curve. I mean, when you look at the remaining schedule, you have Bristol. That's a short track. Cody McKinney is pretty solid at short tracks. You have Texas, another mile and a half. Then you have the wild card, Talladega. You have Iowa. Oh, what's this? What is this? Oh, boy. What do we have here? Some strategy, maybe?
I think we did not realize that they could not make it from their pit stop. So these guys are coming down one more time. And surprise, we have an extra set of pit stops coming your way here. Green flag action, 29-28, making their final pit stops, I would presume now under green flag situations. So throws in the curveball. When does the 23 pit? When does the 19 pit once more? Did not expect this, so stay tuned for this.
Yeah. Not sure. Maybe if there's an issue with the 29 or the 28, maybe they're trying something. There it is. Look at Dustin. Dustin's so smart. I was wondering what he was doing on the feed there, but there it is right there. You see, obviously, you know, all the nutritional facts about the nerd and whatnot, how many calories we burn and whatnot. Just so cool, especially if you're a gamer. And there we go right there. There's your periodic table. You have I play games periodically. We have that one. And then there's the Blow Me cartridge. That one's pretty funny. Obviously, like I said, you piece it together. You know what it is. I'm not going to go into detail.
It's a Nintendo cartridge, sir.
Oh, yeah, it's a Nintendo cartridge. Nothing, you know, there's nothing weird about it at all. But you know, hey, those things are pretty badass. They're pretty funny. Our jerseys are also really freaking sick. I mean, those things are just awesome, too. Scott Martin and them, they do a great job on those every time I've seen them on screen, whether it be you or Dustin wearing them here. But back to the point here, I think I want to say that Brody Hanna and these guys can make it. I mean, they did go a little over 40 laps. It's gonna be close. I'm not a pit guy. I haven't ran these things in quite some time, so I don't know what the pit window looks like with their fuel load. But we'll have to see. Cody McKinney, he's already locked in, so why not go and try something? You know, he's gonna be on fresh tires. He's gonna try that undercut, see if it can benefit him. But we'll have to see how he does here. Oh, we got a caution wreck. Front straightaway, big accident there. Sylvain Jolly up and into the wall. Alan Duranko's involved. Oh my goodness, Jeremy, this changes everything. And Cody McKinney must have had somebody tell him what was going to happen, because that was everything that he needed to see.
Well, if we're going to kick it back to before the wreck happened, these guys were 4 wide coming off of turn 4 here. And Tyler Brown, the 00, makes the cut to the inside of the 2 of Alan Duranko. And there was a huge pocket of air that just showed up out of nowhere and took out the 2 and the 00 and the 0 right here. You're going to see it. He's going to make the cut to the bottom, thinking maybe he was clear. There's that air pocket, just really threw the 2 truck into the outside, hit Sylvain Jolly. Hard impact into the wall goes the 2 and the 00, sends the 0 to Sylvain Jolly around, and it's going to bring out, I do believe that's our 4th caution this evening.
Wow, this is a game changer, definitely, no doubt about it here. Here comes everybody coming down pit road. Hanna, Coy, Bartel, Milikian, Chapman, all down pit road. We'll have to see if we have any more takers. I want to say, if you have that extra set sitting in the pits, no doubt about it, you have to come in and take it. You've gone multiple laps since the last time you pitted. You have to pit. The only ones who are going to look strong are going to be Cody McKinney and Steven Hollingsworth, who are more than likely going to stay out. Same with Tommy Schaefer. All of those guys took that undercut. Lane Allen, Tony Solari, we will have to see. Or actually, Lane Allen and Tony Solari just came out of the pits. But man, Hollingsworth, McKinney, Schaefer, they're looking like geniuses out here.
Yeah, no kidding, right? They came down, they shortcutted the pit stop, and then here we are. They're going to be restarting this thing 1 and 2. But as these guys get grouped up, I think we're going to take our final picture-in-picture commercial break and be back before the drop of the green flag for the 5th time this evening. And back to full screen action here. I think real quickly, we're going to try to bring in this number 23 truck, see if we can get at least a question in. Brody, this is Jason.
Hey, Brody. What's up, man? You're going to be restarting here on the front row with your teammate, man. It's going to be really interesting. Do you think you have what it takes to hold everybody off here on this restart?
Really didn't want to see that caution. We were sitting pretty here, but yeah, we got a pretty good truck, and we're going to do what we can here. Try to hold on to this one.
Hey, man, well, hopefully we'll be able to talk to you after this one, trying to sweep the Kansas races this year. Good luck. Hopefully we'll have you up here at the end of this one.
All right, thanks, guys.
There you go. It's Brody Hannon, man. He's going to have himself a handful to deal with on the front row right here, having his teammate next to him. But, man, Jeremy, he's been so strong all night long.
And these trucks right now, almost identical paint skins, just one white, one black, and clearly can tell what team they are on. Yin Yang is what Dustin says there on the producer microphone there. But green flag is back out. Here we go. We got 17 laps to go in this Kansas 200. Side by side, the top 4 rows are. Then they quickly single filed out quite a bit actually behind them. So a little bit of a draft pack here to start off this restart. Exiting turns 2 right now. The 27 of Ryan Chapman with a slight advantage over the 88 on row number 2. Going through 3 and 4. These guys still remain side by side by side by side, except now Brody Hanna does take the top spot here, coming to the start-finish line.
Yeah, and 16 laps to go now up on the board for the Kansas 200. Fury Motorsports trying to continue their dominance. Look at TJ Bartell. He's trying to win one here tonight. Yet again, one at Daytona. Just a couple weeks ago, right before the playoffs started. He'll head down to the bottom of Richie Coy, trying to get another win here this evening.
Yeah, out of nowhere, this 88's playing the strategy card here. Puts himself in a very great spot to get at least podium here. P2 has a 2 truck length advantage over the 19 of Richie Coy and the 27 of Ryan Chapman. who's also used this pit stop to put himself in a great spot here. Almost gets Richie Coy cleared off turn 2. They go back directly side by side to turn 3.
Down into turns 3 and 4 they go. Here comes Ryan Chapman trying to get a nice run going for him here tonight. Same thing with Sherwood Williford, kind of rebounding after a mid to rear pack race all night long. He's fighting almost 3 wide now. He's side by side with Robert Milikian as they head down into 1 and 2. Sherwood will head all the way to the top side, trying to block Michael Blackner off turn number 2. Everybody's still door to door.
Man, this restart, or this caution rather, has really shuffled a lot of things up. Sherwood Williford's been, top or 10th place to 15th place all night long, and here he is running in 5th place at the line last time. This time around, the 16 of Robert Malikian is going to be 5th place here. But this is a turnaround for the 33, who's needing a little bit of bump in the points here to solidify the round of 12 chances for him.
And a lot of these guys would absolutely love it here. I mean, you look at Sherwood Williford, talked about it, 13th coming into the night, just about 5 points below the cutoff line. He needs a good race. Michael Blackner came in 10 points above the cutoff. He was sitting in the 7th seed. He needs a good run as well. So everybody fighting for every position, knowing that every point matters here since it's crunch time in the playoffs.
Top 5 have kind of separated themselves now. This is the battle on the track. 2 rows side by side still down the back straightaway here as we're approaching 11 laps to go in this Kansas 200. Malikian on the inside doing everything he can to hold that spot. Right now still door to door off corner exit for the 33 of Williford. Will hold the advantage this time over Robert.
He's still holding it on that outside with a pretty steady truck entering 1 and 2. You see the 22, Michael Blackner, still trying to work around him. Not enough momentum, but back up at the front, Bartel still trying to make a run at the Fury Motorsports drivers. He's got 1 behind him, 1 in front of him, down into 3 and 4. Ryan Chapman looking to try to get onto the podium again here after a miserable race at Milwaukee just 1 week ago. Down the front straightaway, 10 laps to go. Put both your hands up in the air. Brody Hanna leading this thing here at Kansas into 2.
Put them both hands in the air like your Max Verstappen winning 10 straight there as he did this past Sunday morning. But doing an excellent job here. TJ Bartel did drop back to 3rd and might fall back to 4th place to the 27 of Chapman, who on this last restart or so has really picked up a lot of momentum in that 27 truck there. Still side by side down the front straightaway here. We have under 10 laps to go in this thing now.
And with 9 laps to go, Ryan Chapman trying to get on the podium. So far, it's looking like it could be for him. He'll pass Nerd Motorsports driver TJ Bartel, your Daytona winner, trying to pick up his 3rd win of the season tonight. Doesn't look like it's going to happen unless he gets a late race yellow. Chapman's still going to wrap that bottom while Williford's gotten around Michael Blackner for the 5th position. Everybody, though, single file, running all the way down to the apron. Everybody trying to chase Brody Hanna. 8 laps to go from Kansas.
The top 4 have basically been the same distance apart now for the past 3 laps or so. The 22 of Blackner trying everything he can. He's got 0.8 of a second to gap. And Sherwood Williford, I think he's slowly creeping in now to this top 4. As they've kind of found where they need to run the rest of the race here. 33 Williford, one of the lowest trucks on the track, at least through 3 and 4 this time around. Field continues to be single file as they get the 7 to go.
7 laps to go up in the air. Does Richie Coy have anything left for his teammate? Was only a few hundredths slower last time around, but you could imagine Brody Hanna is sitting pretty outside there in the 1st spot, knowing, like he told us right before we went green, he was sitting pretty there, didn't want to see that yellow. Well, oh boy, he's doing pretty good right now. This time by 6 laps to go. The gap starting to just kind of grow a little bit.
Yep, Brody said he was really not wanting to see that caution, and right now, as these laps now are continuing to grow on this green flag stint, he is increasing that lead once more, just like he did. Not as quickly, but he's still growing that lead. So as we're approaching 5 laps to go, this 23 Brody Hanna is putting himself in an awesome position right now to take home this checker flag, but runs it really wide off of turn 4 and hits the wall. His teammate Brody Hanna does the domino effect, doesn't hit the wall nearly as hard, but Brody just tank slaps the crap out of that truck. And now with 5 laps to go, it goes from I got a great chance to, oh crap, I hope my truck's okay.
This is going to be interesting. You saw Richie Coy there get really loose off turns 3 and 4. Ryan Chapman is through to the second spot, trying to run after Brody Hanna after a late race mistake. Will he have enough time? The gap is slowly closing, 0.5 of a second. 4 laps to go in the Heartland.
5.14 separation there, but that was with the 27 making the pass on the 19. Now the 27 only has Brody Hanna in his sights. Can Ryan Chapman, one of our IROC 93.5 drivers, have this huge turnaround and finish in podium right now? Has a great chance. Just doesn't have to hit the wall, as you see him right there on the left-hand side of your screen. Super focused. They're tight there, back for 6th and 7th. 42 Malikian really pushes the 22 Michael Blackner tight up against the wall. I think they're going to come out unscathed out of that one there. That was a tight situation. Now we have under 3 laps to go.
Brody, really bad entry into 1 and 2, and Ryan Chapman is right in the draft wake. Just give him a couple good corners, and he's going to be right to the back bumper of Brody Hanna for a night which we could have thought that the Fury Motorsport drivers would dominate. Sure enough, it's been just that, but with 2 laps to go, Ryan Chapman trying to win his way into the next round.
Each lap since that wall tank there, the 27 has gained 1/10 of a second on Brody Hanna. That's going to put them almost equal when they come to the checkered flags here with a lap and a half left going through 3 and 4. Chapman did not earn too much ground that time, but through 3 and 4 this time, it looks like he's going to gain maybe another 1/10 off this one, coming to the white flag sponsored by absolutely nobody here. And I think as long as Brody keeps it off the wall, he's got this thing secured.
He's got to think if Ryan Chapman wants any sort of run on this 23 machine, he's going to have to go to the outside, but down the back straightaway for the final time, Brody Hanna looking to try to put win number 5 up on the board in Kansas.
And it looks like he's got all the room in the world to do so here for turn 4, the final time. Brody Hanna, first win in quite a few months, is going to secure the round of 12 for himself. Congratulations to Brody Hanna for holding on after that wall slaps to pick yourself up a victory.
Job by Brody Hanna and all the Fury Motorsports guys. Very fast trucks. You know, even with Tony Solari's damage, came back to finish 14th. All those guys were very, very fast here tonight. You see Richie Coy's teammate giving him a congratulatory bump there. And this time we're going to talk to Brody Hanna on the Fury side of things with the win. There's the 88 and Dornham coming across into turns 3 and 4. But this 23 tonight, Jeremy, was just hooked up to perfection.
This guy loves Kansas apparently, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's got the number 23. He's got the Bubba Wallace number, and Bubba Wallace is really good at Kansas. So maybe it's that Bubba Wallace number that's doing him such a great job.
Aiming to extend that out with the 45 having dominance here at Kansas. It just must be a 23-45, 23-11 team style number track here, showcasing its talents. And he's going to do his burnout. Took him a second to get the burnout going. It's been a while since we've seen Brody do these burnouts, and he's getting warmed up. A little bit of a slow start here, but as he continues to try to figure out how to do these things, we're going to go over the unofficial results here tonight, presented by Sim Racing Points. Brody Hanna going to take this thing P1 tonight. Ryan Chapman's going to finish his second place. Job well done from Ryan. Richie Coy finishes in 3rd. TJ Bartell in 4th. Sherwood Williford finishes in 5th. Michael Blackner 6th. Robert Maliki in 7th. Kyle Milliken 8th. Lane Allen 9th, and your 10th place finisher this evening, the number 28 of Cody McKinney with that huge fall off late in the going.
To the field, back to 21st. 11th, you got James Torrey. Very quiet night for James Torrey. A very solid run and respectable for somebody who's not really usually up towards the front. Stephen Hollingsworth, 12th. 13th, Tommy Schaefer on a night of what could have been. Tony Solari, heartbreaker for him, but still 14th, not bad. Sylvain Jolly, 15th. Marshall Johnson, 16th. Tyler Brown, somebody who was probably going to be a contender later on in this race. 17th, Duranko. 18th, Joey McKinney. 19th, and this is going to be probably a must-win for that 18 machine heading into next week. 20th is Justin Diltz. And 21st, who did not start the race, Brandon Elder in the 51.
And that's going to conclude the unofficial results there. We're going to go to full screen commercial break, gather up our top three, that being Brody Hanna, Ryan Chapman, Richie Coy, and we'll be back with you guys shortly.
Everybody get up.
And welcome back here to full screen coverage as we start the Martin Sports post-race show, where we're going to talk to our tonight's top three finishers here. First and foremost, the number 19 of Richie Coy. Richie Coy, do you have a copy?
What's up, nerds?
What is up, man? That truck had I mean, you were in the top 10 all night and most part of the top 5. But a little bit up and down there. You had a little battle with Cody McKinney and Stephen Hollingsworth. You guys got cleared of him. You did pretty well. Then you had a pit stop to put you back into 6th place or so. And you found yourself back in the top 3. So kind of just walk us through your night tonight.
Well, honestly, you just did it. It was a pretty good summary too. I'm not gonna lie. We
right.
yeah,
Well, next question.
Brody and I had the same setup in, and I let him pit early, 1 lap earlier than I did, so we didn't get confused on pit road or jammed up on pit road, and that gave him like 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds out in front of me, and I knew the other guys didn't have as good a tires as I did. Plus, they didn't have enough fuel, and Brody was going to be able to make it with maybe running out the last lap, and I had 2 laps to good, so. Yeah, that last question kind of messed us up a little bit, and then hitting the fence didn't help coming out of 4 with a couple laps to go. But top 3, I think that'll probably lock us in on points to the next round. So we're good. Brody's in now. So yeah, what are we gonna do? Take it to P3.
Yeah, you two are locked in. And then I was actually, when I saw the 20 and the 29 dip down pit road, I was like, I did not expect this one bit. I thought we were just going to go green the rest of the way with no pit stops. And then I was all of a sudden questioning your guys' strategy, but you kind of answered that question there. So I'll turn to that wall incident there. Brody Hanna hit that thing a ton, and then you had the domino effect of following his line. And you didn't hit it as bad. I don't think maybe if at all, just a light little tail slap there if at most. But I'm sure it didn't change the truck for you. But did Brody say anything on the radio saying that he might not have a chance of winning this thing?
Well, yeah. So with the draft here, these trucks are really weird. So you could be fine, and then you draft up to a guy going in the corner, and you just lose the front of the car. So when Brody went up the racetrack, I went up on my normal line, and I got up behind him, and it just took all the air off the nose, and I was able to kind of not slap it as hard as he did. I only got a 0. I got a 0x for it, so I don't know what he did, but yeah, he came over the radio, was like, "Yep, she got tight." And then he was like, come on. And then, he saw Ryan coming. Ryan, I think, was salivating at that point. Like he was going to, that was his best shot. But Brody was able to hold off. I was able to hold TJ off because he was coming too. And yeah, P3.
Yeah, very good, man. Well, I'll be asking Ryan about that too and see what he was thinking after that incident. But yeah, congratulations on locking yourself in on points essentially for the top 12 for the next 3 races after next week in Bristol. But floor is yours. Final thoughts before we let you go this evening.
As always, got to thank Tony's mom and dad for watching. Got to thank Fury Motorsports. We flip flopped tonight. We ran my qualifying setup and Brody's setup, so I think it worked out well. I qualified on pole. He got second on that, and then he won the race. I should have got second, but got third. So congratulations to the team on that. Thanks again for everybody for their hard work. Thanks to the league. I think it was a pretty good race. I think we had 2-3 questions, so that was cool. We like the long runs here, and as always, thank you to the nerds.
Well, appreciate that, sir. And go ahead and go get them at Bristol next week. It's all for fun there for you, so enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
That was driver number 19, Richie Coy. Now it's time to bring in second place finisher, number 27, Ryan Chapman. Ryan, you got a copy?
I do. What's up, guys?
Hey, man, doing pretty good up here. I did not expect you to be in this top 3 picture halfway through this run. Like you were fighting there, but that last pit stop really just set your truck up for success. How did you make any adjustments to that truck, and how did you get yourself in P2?
No, we didn't make any adjustments actually the whole race. Kind of left it alone. Just changed up my line a little bit. The high line in the middle of the run was loose, and I almost completely lost it. But luckily, the wall saved me, and no damage, and we kept going. But no, I just went back down to the bottom where I was more comfortable, and I just started ripping it down there. I mean, once it started moving, I just kind of left it there and was like, we're either going to catch these guys or a caution's going to come out. And luckily, a caution did come out, but at the expense of one of my teammates. But once we got that caution, I was just like, it's all in here. I got to go for it because, like last week, I had a bad race, really bad race. So it was kind of all chips in here, just going for it and trying to get as high as I can, trying to get myself a little more buffer.
You kind of answered my 2-part question for you when Brody Hannon hit that wall there with just a handful of laps to go. You were sitting there, you watched the whole thing, and then I'm sure you were at that point super motivated to run him back down. We were kind of questioning why you didn't move up the track there to try to run the outside, but you said your truck was feeling a lot more comfortable on the bottom. Do you think overall that was still the right call to run the bottom?
Yeah, overall, I think that was the right call. I mean, I did try the top there a little, like middle to top a little bit, and I lost a little bit of ground on them. So I just kind of stuck it to the bottom there and kept it rolling. It worked. Once Richie hit the wall, I kind of knew that was my opportunity to get by him cleanly and fast enough to where I could try to run down Brody. I just needed a few more laps.
Well, you almost, or you're putting yourself rather in a really good spot here for Bristol. You just have to finish in a decent top 10, and I think you have it locked in for the round of 12. So, great job here tonight to get yourself set up for that position and chance to do so. But the floor is yours. Final thoughts before we let you go.
Yeah, overall, again, thank you for you guys for broadcasting this and taking time out of your day to run this whole thing. FTSR, mom and dad for watching. There, any other friends that are watching? I know one of my friends named Zach. He watches and enjoys all the streams. But overall, I gotta thank all of our sponsors: SimMotion 213, Martin Sports, and obviously our setup guy, Top Split Setups. He's been working with us nonstop. He wants to get us in this playoffs. He wants us to get in this Final Four. So we're doing everything we can with him and just everyone that helps around with the team, Dilts, Kyle, Alan, and Robert, JP, who's sadly not here today. Hopefully we made him proud tonight. So, but yeah.
Love to hear the teamwork behind that team to get you as farther or as far as the playoffs as possible. But man, congrats once again on second place finish. We'll chat with you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. And that was Ryan Chapman, driver the number 27. And now it's time to bring in tonight's winner at the Kansas 200, Mr. Brody Hanna. Congratulations, man, on the victory.
I had to get directions to victory lane. It's been a while.
I believe it. Those burnouts looked a little weak, too. You figured out how to get those tires spinning once more. But either way, Kansas is your place. Sweeping Kansas. You had a dominant truck. Once you got to the lead, that clean air did wonders for your truck, and you never looked back, essentially. So just what was your preparations coming tonight? Did you do anything between now and the previous race here at Kansas? And how'd you get the job done?
Well, first off, the burnouts I'll explain later. There's a method to the madness.
Okay.
But anyway, that's for off air time. But anyway, yeah, man. I come in tonight. I was like, I put so much stress on myself when we come to Kansas because I know it's a good track and I know we got a rocket ship of a setup and I knew we could perform. I was kind of a little bit disappointed with the way the first stage played out. We had too many cautions, didn't have that longer run, put a few extra laps on the tires, and Cody was able to sneak out there and get that win. But I knew the thing kind of came to life later in the race, and sure enough, it did. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we came in knowing we had a fast truck and just a lot of pressure to perform. Hey, we missed out on the pole by a little bit to our teammate, but you know what? I guess at the end of the day, the win's what matters.
Yeah, it locks you in there to the round of 12. And why'd you have to go tank slap the thing with 5 laps to go? The race was yours, and then all of a sudden put a little spark in our pants saying, hey, Ryan Chapman might have a chance at this thing. Were you just kind of testing some last minute things out, or did you just make a simple error there?
Well, my crew chief told me that I had a camera in the car and I needed to do something with that right rear quarter panel. So
Mm.
that's the only thing I could kind of think of to kind of take care of it without being too obvious. But that's just between us.
Oh, 10 for you. Yeah, you should try that flat back paint next time. That kind of hides
Yeah,
it too.
yeah. No, I just we were just running flat out there at the end. I was just running flat out, looking in my mirror, making sure that Richie wasn't gaining too much, kind of just kind of cruising there, but running flat out. And I guess it got to the lap where it's gonna require a little bit of a lift in the corner. So me and Richie both got tight, touched the wall there, and I was like, well, okay, we'll go back it up just a little bit and take care of it from here on out.
Well, we did a great job nonetheless, sweeping the Kansas for 2023, man. Congratulations getting yourself locked into the round of 12. Final thoughts before we let you go this evening.
Well, you never know when your last win's going to come. So, there's been some, I went through some rough things. I had a wheel there for a little while, trying to get back in the groove, and finally got that monkey off my back. So it feels good. I do want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast as always. Great job, great presentation, and Nerd at Tuesday does a great job. Got to thank the series sponsor, Martin Sports, for sticking with us, for continuing to sponsor the series, and I hope we're doing them proud, and happy to have them on board. Got to thank the teammates, Richie Coy, Tony Solari, and our pseudo teammate Michael Blackner, for for the help and the things they do, and honestly keeping the chat light during the race. And got to thank everybody in the race tonight. Had a great race. Everybody did a great job, and yeah, I guess we go to Bristol and just go have some fun.
Yeah, you and Richie Corey, I think, both locked in. So, yeah, just have a blast at Bristol. It's a great track, especially when you got no pressure on you. So, but we'll catch you here this coming Monday.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. And that was the 23 of Brody Hanna, tonight's race winner for the Kansas 200. Jason, final thoughts closing this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, what an interesting race to say the least. I mean, pretty uneventful. Kind of not really anything happened besides the really, really good racing we had. Thought that that last caution coming out was really going to play a huge factor. Turns out it really didn't. I did not know that these guys were going to be short on fuel. I don't think both of us knew. It turns out they were, some of them. So I guess the caution kind of played into some guys' favors. Some guys didn't, because like Brody or Richie said, one or the other said that they were only a couple good or a couple short, one or the other. But man, what a fun race tonight. And man, Bristol next week, that's going to be absolutely chaotic. There's going to be a lot of guys who are going to want to make sure that they stay out of that short track chaos that's going to unfold next week.
What a race to close out the round of 16 too, man. There's a lot of guys that are just trying to get themselves into the playoffs, and Bristol's a crazy track to do so. Just like the following week at Talladega to open up the round of 12. But Dustin, will Discord let you talk now?
I'm hoping so. I mean, it's looking like it's playing nice. But yeah, it's like I tried to say at the start of the race, I had to get on camera when Jeremy calls you out like that. Him and I have both been kind of feeling under the weather, and he's on the camera and I wasn't. So I had to make my appearance. But what a race! I mean, I think Jason said it best. I mean, this track always provides. I mean, the multi-groove racing. I mean, we've seen side by side. There was racing action all over the place. Even when they got spread out, there was still racing action everywhere. But I think the big story was two of the fastest trucks that were out there. I mean, Brody Hanna was fast, Richie Coy was fast. I mean, there was a handful of drivers that were fast, but we know that Cody McKinney and Tommy Schaefer were fast. I mean, Schaefer was coming on strong there before coming up to pit stops. The green flag scheduled pit stops. But what a shocker that they were not going to make it on fuel. Caution didn't really play a factor in Brody Hanna or Richie Coy or anything else. I think it kind of saved both of those drivers, being Schaefer and McKinney, because without that caution, they were going to be locked a lap down, because I think everybody was locked into their strategy. If they were close, they were going to try to push it, try to save, so that allowed them to get the lucky dog, as Tommy Schaefer did, and then the wave around for McKinney. So that allowed them to at least get back on the lead lap, but definitely threw a monkey wrench in the whole plan. So typical Kansas. I mean, you never know what to expect coming in here. It sets up drama. And speaking of drama, much like ending the regular season at Daytona, we're ending the round of 16, going to the round of 12 at Bristol. I mean, Thunder Valley. I mean, what better place to do that? And then going from one of the shortest tracks to one of the biggest tracks at Talladega the following week. So it's going to be crazy.
It's always interesting as a person in the broadcast booth to be like, well, we're gonna put them in a short track, and we're gonna piss some people off. We're gonna get the tempers flared up, and then we're gonna put them in a draft pack at Talladega the following week. So it could get very sketchy at times if there is an occurrence like that. But we're gonna find out next week and see exactly what happens here for the Full Throttle Sim Racing League, and we're gonna close this thing out for tonight. Of course, all of our sponsors are gonna be on the right-hand side of your screen. Thank you, FTSR, for letting us do this for 2 years now. It's been an awesome journey, and hopefully we have continued partnership along the road for 2024 and beyond. Mach 1 Performance is the Monday Night Cup Series sponsor. It's a race fabrication shop that's produced champions and winners across all racing divisions. Find them at Facebook at facebook.com/Mach 1 Performance. Sim Racing Points, your all-inclusive league points management system that allows you to completely track your league stats and more with just a simple upload of the race export, and it makes your league look professional. You're going to find them at simracingpoints.com. Martin Sports, top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. See the whole apparel lineup at martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag, get your notifications a fraction of a second faster without ever leaving your focus from the racing action, and find them at iRacingIFlag.com. Butt Kicker, get the ultimate feel from your sim car with the haptic response system from one of their systems at the Butt Kicker. And you can check out their whole product lineup at thebuttkicker.com. Team Watson Racing Setups, quality professionally built for all your asphalt oval needs. And you can find them at teamwatsonracing.com. Dusty Pete's, hobby shop with a whole lot more. And so if collecting is the game, Dusty Pete's is the name, and you're going to find them at dustypete's.com. And lastly, Roasted Gems Coffee, premium coffee beans roasted just for you. Start your day the right way with coffee from Roasted Gems at roastedgems.com. And guys, this is going to be it for us for the week. We're going to catch you live on Monday night for the Mach 1 Performance Cup Series as they take round 2 at Kansas. Until then, get your nerd on.